What's up, guys? Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and this is gonna be new for everyone here, and maybe we can get some discussion about it, because I've watched a lot of theories on Star Wars, and currently what's been going on is I've watched all the Mandalorian up to now, so I've seen the recent reveals of Bo-Katan, the name drop of Ahsoka Tano, who's hopefully coming in the next 2 or so episode, but then my head started thinking about, this is my theory mainly on Baby Yoda, and it might seem like a stretch, but within the confines of me explaining how this could work, and I'm sure there's tons of Baby Yoda theories on here. Is he a clone? Is he Master Yoda reincarnated? Or is he just part of Yoda's species who could coincidentally look like him? So what I'm thinking is, and this is going to sound drastic, we're going to get into later points in the video where I will explain each detail or each idea that I bring in on how this could work. So I'm going to just say it out there. I think that this Baby Yoda is Master Yoda himself. Now before any of you think, huh? How? Or get confused, think about it. We saw something interesting recently, and this is also my first time tackling the world between worlds within Star Wars Rebels. I'm going to expand on that later, but that's also what this idea, this theory is derivative from. It's derivative of Ahsoka Tano, Baby Yoda, the world between worlds, and Yoda himself. So let's get into Yoda himself, since it's the easiest thing to have explained. We've seen Yoda when he was first introduced in Episode 5. We didn't think nothing of him just knowing that he's a Jedi Master. We didn't see him in action in the original trilogy. It's not till the prequels and the Clone Wars and new expanded material where we see Yoda, even for his age, is pretty nimble, pretty stylish. You know, he is a Grand Master. But then when you cut to A New Hope, not A New Hope, fuck me, sorry, a Return of the Jedi. Once you get to Return of the Jedi, you understand that Yoda says, at 900 years old, you look as good, you are not. That's another thing that went into my head, and it involves the world between worlds. Yoda is 900 years old. He has seen everything. He's, at least by my understanding, been around probably at the beginning of the High Republic, which is being expanded now. But after seeing Baby Yoda, what's leading with him, Yoda looking so similar, I just don't know if it's a coincidence. Ahsoka herself involved in this idea, along with the world between worlds, which was shown in Rebels. So let's tackle the idea of Baby Yoda. When we saw Baby Yoda in Season 1, it was a shock. It was a Season 1 of The Mandalorian. It was a shock and a surprise to us that there's this baby that looks and uses the Force pretty adeptly for being an infant. I don't even know if to call it an infant or just a little toddler. We really don't know. And this is 5 or so years after Return of the Jedi, and Master Yoda died in Return of the Jedi. He faded with the Force, and we've seen his Force ghost in The Last Jedi. We've heard his voice in The Rise of Skywalker. Yoda still holds such a prominent presence. So this Baby Yoda, in turn, could be Yoda himself. And you're probably thinking, John, how could he be Yoda himself? Well, when you look at the designs, it's kind of what we imagined Master Yoda to look like when he was so small, you know, even at that size. I think that when Yoda died, even though he passed on, Yoda, through the Force, has been around for a long time. He probably is reborn into that body, because we only see him briefly in The Last Jedi. He only shows up once. But that this Baby Yoda being Master Yoda himself, because there's certain aspects. How does Yoda know so much and already has very knowledgeable foresight into seeing things? I'm pretty sure Yoda is the one of the type of Jedi that could see into the future and understand things. But at the time of the Clone Wars, with the presence of Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, is putting a shadow over their thoughts. Like, they can't finger where the Dark Lord is, so to speak. But Yoda always seemed to stay prepared. It's like he acknowledged Ahsoka, even thinking maybe by exiling Ahsoka, he already knew to throw her on that path and know that she would not come back. Because Yoda never seems too shocked at present moments. Like, at moments that would shock us as the audience, or us watching the Clone Wars, Yoda always seemed more knowledgeable. He would give a reaction when he knew the time would come for something. Now, Order 66, most Jedi didn't handle that correctly. He did, despite being the pain. He's one of the few who felt the pain in the galaxy. So, with the world between worlds, just like we saw Ezra in Rebels save Ahsoka with the duel with Darth Vader, we all know that this place was, the gate was closed, but this affected time with Ahsoka being saved by Ezra. So that means, how many other world between worlds out there could there be? Could there be other portal ways? Finding Ahsoka at this point after Return of the Jedi, because she is coming now, she could know more things and discovered more and know what to do with this baby Yoda. Maybe she already has the idea to do one thing, or this could be alluded to. She could say, theoretically, have found another world between worlds, or currently was able to find a way back into the current world between worlds. Take Yoda to this baby Yoda to the prime of the Jedi, 900 years, so it can match his age. She would know that at that time he'd be not at least that long. Take him to the Jedi either at the early High Republic, which that could be that long, or he could be in the late time of the Old Republic is when he would have been brought. Then he accumulates all this knowledge, training. He will become the Grand Master Yoda and show why that he was the Grand Leader and Master of the Temple that we've seen. There's a lot to Yoda we don't know about. Ahsoka clearly became much attuned to the Force and knowledgeable. She could have contacted Yoda's spirit and got that knowledge from the other world, from Yoda himself. That's why Bo-Katan could easily know where to find her, because she clearly aided her in the Purge. This plan could be together. Why do you think they knew where to save the child recently in The Mandalorian? Spoiler drop. If you haven't seen The Mandalorian, I'm sorry, but I had to. But in The Mandalorian, they knew to send him to Ahsoka with the child. Once the Jedi was brought up to Bo-Katan. So, taking this child to Ahsoka could already have been in the planning. Ahsoka already knows that she'll probably find the Mandalorian. Mando will find her to go to her to take him. But they could easily build up some background, because Ezra could be coming in live action. He could also give some further context and others understanding, really tying also into Rebels, since we've got these Clone Wars ties and Original Trilogy ties, talking about, the New Republic and the fall of the Imperial Remnant. So, if Ahsoka takes Baby Yoda to that time, this is one way I could see this happening. And let's play what if here toward the end of this. Let's play what if Ahsoka takes Yoda through the world between worlds, and in that time of training he's raised all the way up to now, he would be more knowledgeable. Would there be an Order 66? Potentially not. Could the world between worlds be used to this factor? I think introducing it slowly to the common viewer would be a good thing. But you also have to explain, at least have a character familiar with the world between worlds to explain it. And I would say that would be Ezra or Ahsoka, or preferably both of them together, reunited, explain. Maybe she knows where he is. But this Yoda would already understand what to do. Maybe not to a full extent how to stop it, but he could intervene on certain things. Ahsoka most likely would have given him knowledge of Padme and Anakin at that time period. So it's almost like a Days of Future Past type thing. Yoda would be raised with this knowledge. He would know what to do. Prevent the fall of Skywalker would really damage Darth Sidious's plans for the Empire to rise. He would actually have to rely on the Inquisitorius and actually train them. And breaking by rule of two, he would have to train the Inquisitors to be at least on Sith level, because if Anakin doesn't turn, with the successful birth of his twins, the fight between him could be prevented through counseling through Yoda. They would already be ahead of the time, because I doubt by that they would hide information from Anakin to let him know that he would become Darth Vader. Then, using the world between worlds, you could still see the events happening on the other side. So let's say Ahsoka would stay in there to watch to make sure things are going on correctly. No need for her to interfere, but we can at least see that she is doing something. Now, quick reminder, this is what if, so I just wanted us to stay on track with that. But Anakin would not fall. In fact, Palpatine would not want to go to Mustafar, because then if that doesn't happen, he still has to rely on the Separatists and the droid army, and use the droid army on top of the clones. Like, he would still keep the Viceroy in them in basically literal servitude. Create two faction armies of the CIS and the newly formed Empire. Then he has to break the rule of two and train the Inquisitoriuses like Sith Lords. Master Yoda would already have Anakin and Padme somewhere safe, but Anakin would still want to stay to the front and fight. Now, the Purge would happen, but maybe at least a quarter of them may survive because of the foreknowledge. Then it would be nothing but years and years of fighting the Empire and the CIS combined as guerrilla war fighters. The whole objective would be to take out Palpatine, but he would also have to keep the Separatists protected to also have an army besides his own. Though a lot of people would not like it, they would have to be forced to, since Palpatine is a Sith Lord and he can also will them to do it through the Force. You know, his dark side is influential. Now, I would say a huge turn of events would come in when the Rebels get brought in. So now imagine if the Rebels were led by the Jedi that has survived. You know, Anakin would most likely reunite with Rex. Rebels could still have happened, but they would get brought into the faction faster. That means adding Ezra and Obi-Wan to have him trained at that time. Like, Obi-Wan would not have to go into exile. Luke and Leia would be kept safe as much as possible. Anakin would most likely still be on the pursuit for Palpatine, because by this time he would have understood what he became. The knowledge would have also been given to him. He would have wanted to hunt Palpatine and destroy him himself. And Yoda would always at least advise him against it until the time came. Therefore, regardless, this is a more positive outlook at the Chosen One prophecy. So, the Death Star would be built, but instead of waiting till the second Death Star to have it infiltrated, they would infiltrate the first Death Star and either take Palpatine, who could be there, or at least take out the Inquisitorius. But most likely they would be more mindful to get Palpatine. So let's say he is there to celebrate the creation of the station. Boom. They all maul him, and Anakin would get the victory by taking him out, because he would be too busy fighting off Yoda, Mace, and anyone who survived at least leading up to that point. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little theory of mine. Be sure to like and subscribe and favorite, and tell me what you think about your own Baby Yoda theories in the comments below. This is Emperor John Kill 3D, and I'll catch you all next time.